Hi, I'm Kevin.
I'm Aaron.
I'm Salim, and we're here to talk about two new shows with big mysteries, Cult and 0 Hour. We're going to start with Cult.
I seek out no one. It is they who are seeking.
But it's not just a TV show. It goes beyond that.
Look, I'm all my brother has. If I don't try to find him, nobody will.
So we've all just seen the pilot episode of Cult, the new show on the CW, which is a kind of a 1-hour drama mystery thriller. It's really a show within a show because it kind of starts out with a show about a cult. And we see a scene with an FBI agent going to look at a cult leader's house or compound. She's looking for a relative of hers. And then we pull back and we realize we're actually watching a show Cult on the CW, on our show, The Cult, which is on the CW.
Confusing, right?
Right.
A little bit.
And that's when we meet Jeff, who is this ex-reporter who gets a call from his brother, who's an ex-junkie, who is freaking out, says, something terrible is going on, needs to talk to him.
It's got something to do with Cult.
With Cult.
And of course,
the TV
his
show.
brother doesn't believe him.
Just tell me what the problem is, Nate.
I made contact with them last night, and I think they're after me now.
Who's after you?
Please help me get away from this.
It's actually a very interesting show. It surprised the heck out of me. I really enjoy that it is very self-reflexive. It's about art mirroring reality, or reality mirroring art, or whatever, and that's a really cool thing.
I think the writing on this show is pretty standard CW writing, but as it went along, it actually won me over with its weirdness and its mysteries.
Going into this, I was not that excited. The CW, a cult show, I thought it was going to be exactly what the fake cult show was going to be, which was so surprising when you realize that that's not what it's about. It's no longer trying to be pablum for teenage audiences. They're really trying to bring the mystery and the intrigue, and it's interesting. I was so shocked.
Yeah. It's good that we have a showrunner, Rockne S, who has worked on good shows before. He worked on all of Farscape, which is a pretty well-known sci-fi show, so he's got something good under his belt, and it's unique and fresh.
And I really liked that at the core of the show, it's really about this brother who's trying to find his brother. Yeah, he feels very guilty because he didn't believe him. This is a brother who, because the parents died recently, they're very connected. So you see the guilt that his character's going through. And I think that needs to be there for this show to have an emotional core.
Yeah, and he's played by Matt Davis, who was in The Vampire Diaries, right?
Correct.
And I just remember him as the jerky guy in Legally Blonde. So it was very hard to not see him as that for the first 20 minutes, but he does a really good job. Jessica Lucas, who plays Skye, is a research assistant on the show Cult, and she seems like she's going to be our lead's romantic interest.
I like that she is not just going to be the sidekick. It seems like she has her own ideas of trying to investigate.
We also have Robert Nepper playing Billy Grimm in the show Cult.
My name is Billy. Billy Grimm. People say I'm dangerous. Me? I'm completely harmless.
We, of course, know him from Prison Break, where he was T-Bag, one of the inmates. Fantastic actor, and I think he does a really great job here. Cult is like Lost.
Exactly.
Everybody's going crazy about it, going on the internet trying to
nobody
find
died.
Yeah, and that's what it is.
That's true.
Yeah, you recognize that it's really feeding into these shows that have huge cult followings and where that could, lead to.
So we should talk about the director of this episode, at least, Nathan Hope. He's a cinematographer who did The Fog, for example. Also directed TV shows like Nikita and CSI. It was dark and slick, and it was fine for what the CW is. I didn't think it went over and above what I think a lot of TV shows are doing these days.
A very self-reflexive show about the blurred lines between art and reality. See it.
Cult seemed a bit too ambitious at first, but it won me over with its creepy mysteries, and I really want to know what happens next. See it.
The performances are strong, and the premise is unique, and with time, I think this will be a really entertaining show. So I say see it. So now we're going to talk about another mystery drama coming out on ABC, 0 Hour.
To find his wife, one man will have to unravel one of the greatest conspiracies of all time.
12 men were given a secret that could bring about the end of the world. You must find these clocks before the enemy does.
0 Hour.
We've all just seen it. Salim, do it.
0 Hour was created by Paul Scheuring, who also created Prison Break, and it starts off as this huge mystery in World War II Germany, with the Nazis trying to find this device that could hold the answer to the end of the world. And then we have this Christian group, which is similar to Opus Dei from the Da Vinci Code, which is taking this device and scattering it across the world so that the Nazis won't be able to get it. Fast forward to present day, we meet a reporter, Hank, and his wife at a flea market. And his wife buys a clock, and for some reason, some other people want this clock and they kidnap her.
I just think that the characters aren't extremely interesting, and they don't feel lived in. You know, I mean, it is just the pilot. We only watched one episode, so it's very hard to get an idea of what they're gonna be like. But this first episode didn't really show me what I wanted to see.
I agree. There are a lot of coincidental things that happen in the show, and there are a lot of stretches of the imagination, but I'm okay with it because they're really trying to get into this mystery. And for a mystery of such a caliber, they have to have some cheats here and there. So I wasn't as mad at that, but I do see what you're talking about.
I do too. I think there's a couple cheats. This guy wants the clock that she bought and kidnaps her, yet the clock is sitting at home on the kitchen table in her apartment. So just say, where do you live?
She could have just gotten it. I mean, it wouldn't
But there's
have been
no
that
tension
hard.
then.
Right. Well, I understand,
So
but I
they're
was just like,
stretching out the tension.
it's not like she hid it somewhere when he had to find it. It was like, oh, it's in a bag on the kitchen table. What's this? Is it groceries?
It's the thing that the bad guy's looking
Exactly.
for.
Despite thinking that the writing on this was a little subpar, I was really wowed by the concept of this, and I think it really has a lot of cool places it's going to go. I'm just a little worried that they're not going to be able to drag this out for 5 years, and it might end up going to Crazy Town.
Like
Lost.
Lost.
But, you know, we'll see.
It's not the writing and not their relationship. I really think it's the acting.
That
I
I can
agree.
agree with.
Anthony Edwards plays Hank. It feels to me like he's playing being upset rather than actually being upset.
Well, let's talk about Michael Nyqvist.
Yeah, no, we should talk about Michael Nyqvist, who plays the bad guy, White Vincent.
White Vincent, but they
Right.
just call him Vincent in the pilot.
Right? He's amazing, and I've loved him ever since I saw him in the Girl with the Dragon Tattoo trilogy, the Swedish version.
Yeah. No, I agree. I loved him in that, though I didn't feel like he should have been the leading man. He just doesn't have leading man look to me. But I loved him in Mission Impossible 4 as a villain. I think he should just be playing villains because he is creepy. he is creepy.
So the director of this pilot episode is Bill Geirhart, who has worked on Walking Dead, Sons of Anarchy, and actually directed the pilot for Red Widow. And he's done a really good job here. It's very professional looking, it's got lots of gloss, and we're going all over the world doing a bunch of crazy stuff, and I'm looking forward to it.
I agree with you. I think it was very epic in scope. It reminded me of the Da Vinci Code on television.
Well, but that's what really brought me in, is the mystery.
Yeah.
And, you know, Lost, for example, I didn't like it at the end because they didn't answer any questions. So this show...
I liked it when I was watching it.
Exactly. But this show is really going to live and die by how well this mystery unfolds week to week.
0 Hour succeeds in being a global conspiracy mystery, and I'm dying to see where it goes. If the last 2 minutes don't hook you, you have no pulse. See it.
I was teetering on the edge of whether I like this show or not, but the last few minutes definitely hooked me, and I'm very excited to see where it goes, so I'm gonna give it a stream it.
0 Hour may seem like a tired premise, but they managed to keep things fresh and intriguing, so I give it a see it.
Well, it looks like our votes add up to 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for 0 Hour.
Cheers.
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 I'll take it. Confusing, right?
Right.
Hello.